You don't need decoy, Roy. Just get yourself free.
Look how degenerate it is.
I did not know that. I swear to God, I would have never stuck.
A whole bunch of degenerate, corrupted people that exploit the human resource sector over there. So whenever they put out the budget to go off and help out the community, that's why it's like feeding kids with diapers, or like the homeless, kids are like orphans, especially the orphanage kids over there. Because most of them will be the children of a whole bunch of prisoners. So that dude over here will go off and take the money, and then go off and like feed his drug addiction on the side over here. That's I fund the entire drug network. Not even marijuana or cocaine. That's fentanyl to be able to kill the addicts and some of the kids on the space here. So he was the one over here poisoning. His type was poisoning the orphans. He was poisoning them to death. While putting them on the streets to go off and sell their bodies around the space here and making money off of it. And then go off to exploit a terror network that made it inside Mexico that was stealing the Mexican oil, just like the Islamic State. Because coincidentally, you're going to find the chain and the network making it all the way back to Turkey. What a coincidence that tried to build that to go to Turkey, right? You got a question like, who's sponsoring that cyber crew over there? That's way to like a pornographic sector that deal with like female prostitutes across Europe that go off and be female streamers over the internet. That's all. And then eventually that money makes it back into a digital space that somewhat mirrors the gaming space like Twitch and Kickstarter over here. That's all. So coincidentally, it won't be digital cyber mafia over here that do like prostitutes across the space. That's all. But I said the prostitution depends on the state that you're in. That's all. So the minute you enter the Muslim sector over here, that's where the civil liberty of most of the prostitutes will end, and that's where you enter a violent sector over here that we don't look at or we don't talk about because the fact that it's a militarized zone. That then lead to a conflict of genocide on the space. That's for Mother Teresa that complain about violence and like military tactics. Men going on to off and want to kill other men, using religion, not using God to go off and pray, like being world peace on the space. I said, no, I told the Islamic State or the Muslim Brotherhood they could go and kidnap Mother Teresa with them. So then she could go off and sacrifice her sons to go off and rescue her. She can end up on the next video over there. That's going to be sold in the streets over the cyberspace here. About the captives that they go off and like some are decapitated or torture on the special. Follow your white Jesus on the special. We won't go into infinity because the fact that it's called a holy war for a reason, jihad, and a world war for a reason. So it's going to continue. I say you pay attention to it, but each of the Muslims that you find in prison that's going to have a resentment or like racism that happen around the space, or even a micro fight that happen in between different group races that's going to happen in the streets. That's going to be related to like a female or other stuff, that's going to contribute to that resentment on the special. And that resentment is always going to exist on the special, and nothing you can do about it into more specific. I tell you, these losers be my face for like the last 5 years, non-stop, making it about themselves, taking my time. That was like the toughest part about being in my 30s where I try to enjoy the rest of my 3s. To go off and live my life, having like a whole bunch of like old people try to rob me of my euphoria to make it all about themselves and like a shitty ass story. Just because of the fact that a couple of superstars gave me attention for being in the military. By the time they were done over here, Oliver. I'm like, yo, who the fuck are these people? Do they have a contract with me? They don't have no contract with me. They keep on forcing themselves inside my scene over here because of the fact that this shit is mad boring. It doesn't jump, nothing like that. By the time I make it to a different state, they all come around and they follow me into my story. I could be in the desert somewhere in an RV, minding my business like Breaking Bad. These people are such losers. They'll still follow me. They'll still surround me like ants. Into my affairs just to go off and chase after fame and like try to believe that God. I separate myself from these losers because these losers don't even know that there's a program going around that spam stuff inside their head. And the minute they believe that they believe in God and Jesus, it's so easy to spam stupidity inside their dreams over here to go off and make them believe in false dream and then false voices of God on especially. So me over there, I survived that test, and here I am today over here myself, a real child of God that could go out and tell the difference between a real voice of God and a fake voice of God over here myself. So I don't follow false idol. So I have that immunity, a passive trait, a passive skill that I get to maintain as like a unique character, a unique class. Father of mechatronics over here, that's my talent. So somewhere I have a unique psychology that protected me with a sentient